Hello and welcome back to the Film Club. The club will talk about films that we've been recently watching, viewing and enjoying. Let me know what you've been recently watching and enjoying, and if you've seen what I'm about to talk about, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. I've always loved the Alien films and I've always loved the Predator films. Have they been a little bit iffy of recent years? On the Alien side, yes. I mean, Predator, we had Prey, and that was absolutely incredible. But I don't know if we've had a good, solid Alien film in a long time. And don't get me wrong, I like sort of the off-piece, Prometheus type stuff that they tried to do. And I actually did rate it when I first watched it, but I just think they tried to go too grand scale. And so it's been a long time since we've had a true-to-form Alien film. And oh my god, Alien Romulus, I could tell it was going to be good from the trailers. The trailers hooked me from the get-go. The tension, the classic look and feel of it. It looked brilliant, and it definitely did not disappoint. This film was absolutely incredible. From the start, even when they're just sort of on the planet, to going up into space, the acting, the music, the set design, every single aspect about this film needs to be praised and needs to be spoken about because it is so good. The story I thought was great. The aliens were not overused, they weren't underused. It was a perfect balance of just everything, and it just made for such a classic feeling Alien film. Alien is known for being a horror, for being a sort of almost a slasher film. And that is what this gave us. It gave us the horror aspects, the horror elements. There was a few jump scares in there, but it wasn't overly sort of in your face. It was good. It did everything that it needed to do in the genre, and I'm so glad that it was good. The biggest thing I think Alien Romulus does right is the set design. The set design is just insane. From even when they're not in the spaceship, when they're on the planet in the sort of the beginning first 10 minutes, this feels so lively. It feels so like a real place. They've just pitched up on this planet and started filming, and that's just what it feels like through and through. This is a real place, and this is something that exists. They're not just on a stage stage set or whatever. It feels there's so much going on and so much chaos and grit and textures and brilliant. And then going up to the spaceship, the corridors, just the different sounds that the computers used, and it was just so rich, and it just had so many little callbacks to the original films with the sound effects of the PCs booting up and don't even get me started on the sound design of this film, but the sets of each different bit of the ship worked really well, and it favoured the scenes as well. You know, we had the elevator scene, we had the alien blood floating scene, just all of that made for such brilliant sets. It felt like the actors were actually in a spaceship. And that is what you want. You don't want them to just feel like they're confined to a small little space. This is a big spaceship, and that's what it gave across. And because of how good the set design was, it meant that the film looked incredible. I think this will be a film that you could watch in 20, 30 years and it will still hold up in the terms of its looks. The CGI was brilliant. The mix of practical and visual effects just made for some brilliant stuff. The xenomorphs looked crisp and just great. The design of those was just, I love them. I love them so much. I know you're not supposed to love them because they're the bad guy, but every single scene I loved. I loved as well the fact that they utilised the xenomorph as this is a predator. It's stalking its prey. It's waiting at the door for them to open it. The gravity scene though was something that I don't think we've ever seen something like that before. The fact that she switched it on and then shooting them all down, but then having to float through the alien blood was such a cool concept that I'm surprised we haven't had it before, because it makes so much sense. Oh, what a scene. This whole film had tension throughout. It gripped me. The space hugger scene when they're creeping through the corridor, but then you've got all the other stuff. I could talk about this film for ages because every single scene felt like it needed to be there. Every single scene did something different and gave a different feeling and pushed the story forward, and it was just like no part of it was wasted. I thought by the runtime, I was like, that's a little bit long for an Alien film. Like, I would sort of expect for it to be going back to its horror roots, sort of like an hour and a half, maybe. It used all of its space and time so brilliantly well. I loved every single aspect of this, and the actors did an absolutely outstanding job. I mean, the main female and the droid actor, I can't remember either of their names. I've gone completely blank. But both of those did an absolutely fantastic job and deserve absolute praise for the roles in this. Like, such a good job. The last 20 minutes of the Alien film, or maybe the last 15 minutes, I actually really liked. Like, I was sat in the cinema thinking, what on earth am I watching? And I'd seen sort of a Twitter meme before going into film where it was like, oh, POV me during the last 50 minutes of the Alien film, and it's just like, oh, what? And I was waiting for it. But I did not expect them to give birth to like a xenomorph human combo breed. I was just, it was messed up, freaky, weird, but I love that they pushed the boundary like that. I love the fact that they went there, and it gave something a little bit more like a, huh? Like, it gave that extra shock factor that it wasn't afraid to, you know, we know that this film was going back to its Alien roots, but it wasn't afraid to step out of its roots as well and do more. So that was just, I didn't know if I did like it or not, but after I've sat with it for a while, I'm like, no, that was really cool. And like the scene where she's actually in space attached to the tether and it's still gripping to her, oh my god. Just, what a film. I love this film. So good. But anyway, let me know, what did you think of Alien Romulus if you have seen it, and I will see you next time on The Film Club.